Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at a scenario where Somalia forms an empire. So, if you couldn't tell, here's Somalia in red. I don't know, I was looking at the map and I thought, hey, why not Somalia? Let's give them something, because they're not really the strongest or stablest country in the world, so they're going to need a lot of buff to even do this. Because let's say they did anything else, they would just get absolutely steamrolled. So yeah, we're going to try this. Their first target is going to be Djibouti. And let's be real, I don't really think they're that strong, so this would be fairly easy for Somalia. But obviously, this wouldn't happen in real life due to all the military bases being there. They'd probably get attacked by one of the European nations. Yeah, full annexation. Next on the list of Somalia, because they're going right in it. Actually, an interesting one. They're going to declare war on the Seychelles. And I'm be honest, I don't even know the Seychelles have a military. So they're going to annex the Seychelles. I think this is also the Seychelles, yeah. They will also declare war and capture Comoros. And yeah, they have some new Mediterranean bases. They'll also take over the Maldives. Yep, next on their list is the country of Eritrea, which is by far the strongest country they've faced so far. They'll begin to push up the coast. 1 second, let's get the cities on here. Oh, there isn't any. Begin to push up the coastline to the port of Assab, which is right over here. They'll capture it. They'll continue to push up the coast until we get something like this, until Eritrea makes a pushback, and we have some in and out fighting, and then we have a third party joining the conflict. The nation of Ethiopia joins the war. This pisses off Somalia quite a bit because now they aren't going to get all the land. Ethiopia immediately pushes in and cuts them off. Around here. Sorry, I did that wrong. And yeah, Ethiopia absolutely steamrolls the rest of the country. Because let's be real, I think Ethiopia is a lot stronger. So yeah, let's have a look at a peace treaty, which we will also do on the camera again. Let's split it down this line here. Ethiopia will fully annex the main populated region of Eritrea, which also includes the port of Massawa, which is right in there. And Somalia will annex the rest of Eritrea, which is the southern part, but it also has the port of Assab, which is over here, which could be quite vital for their economy. So yeah, they're happy they've got that. And this is our new map of Somalia. I like this. They've got some colonies down here. No, down here. Their empire stretches like this. Got a very large naval area and economic zone, so they can get some profit from a lot of fishing and stuff, and their economy starts to boom. Next, they also attack the nation of Yemen. Now, this is going to be quite hard. Oh, no, not yet. Because Yemen has got far more people than Somalia does. But at this point, we're definitely saying that Somalia is stronger than even a united Yemen. So, yeah, first of all, the newly built Somali Navy will leave one of the ports up here, probably Bosaso, which is over here. They'll take over Socotra. Nice. And they will land in southern Yemen over here. They'll push in, capture this region, push over to the north and encircle and take this whole region over. They'll also make a landing here and a landing next to the port of Mocha. Not Mocha like coffee, there's actually a port called Mocha. They'll start to push further into the country of Yemen, not before the Yemenis push back in the north and create a solid front line like this. It's going to be a hard war. It's not going to be easy, this one. Yeah, the Battle of Al Mukalla is fierce as Somali forces try and capture the city. They also make a landing in the west of the city, which goes successful, very well and encircles the entire city. This is what we've got so far. And as the Yemenis start to push back, it doesn't look good as Somalia is running out of forces, especially since this area, Somali forces have to go all the way over here to reach it. So they're getting bombarded with rockets. So it's really hard to reinforce this. And they keep getting pushed back. Pushed back all the way to the border. Still region. And yeah, they're holding out with some defenses. But it's not looking good. Push back a little bit though. And this is their last region. Not before, once again, yet another third power joins. Because they're pretty weak, Somalia, even with my buff. And their expansion. They still need some support from other countries. So yeah, Saudi Arabia is the next one to join. Saudi forces immediately, because they wanted to get rid of the Yemenis for a while, push into the north. Somalia tries to push in here and take over this region as it's very oil rich. So they capture all the oil resource and begin the production of tanks using the mines. I don't know, I'm assuming there's metal. Or at least selling oil, which is starting to profit the Somali economy rapidly. Al-Mukalla finally falls. They continue to push along the southern coast. Saudi forces near the city of Sana'a, not without fierce resistance. The port of Al-Hodeidah is also under siege by Saudi forces coming in from the west, and it falls. Sana'a finally falls to Saudi forces. So does Taiz, and once they reach the Gulf of Aden, Somali forces meet up until we have something like this. So let's have a look at a peace treaty here. We have full annexation of the country of Yemen. Sadly, they won't exist anymore. Yep, here we are. So we see Saudi Arabia annex all the western regions, what back in the 90s would have been called North and South Yemen. So they annexed the north region of Yemen, while Somalia annexed the southern region. And now they've got a very dominant control over this area of the water, which I'm pretty sure a lot of trade passes through, because they go through the Suez Canal, along the Red Sea, and in here. So this is all trade from India, the Middle East, Asia, to Europe through here, and vice versa, and down to Africa. So yeah, we've got a very big trade corridor now, and they can tax it, whatever. They can create blockades. They're doing well. So Somalia is booming. Their economy is booming. And yeah, great. Next on the list is the nation of Oman. Yeah, I'm sorry, Oman. You're literally like a very nice, peaceful country. I don't know why you're being targeted by these Somali fierce pirates. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that. Whatever. It's okay. So, this is probably not going to go too well for the Omanis, as they haven't got very many people. They've got 4 million people, and yeah, they're not the strongest. They haven't got that much oil. Anyway, the Somali forces flood into this region of Oman, completely encircling Salalah and capturing the city. They now start to race across Oman. However, it's a very harsh climate. It's okay. Push towards Jalan Bani Bawali, catches Sur on the coast, and they capture the city as well. I know it looks close. Oman finally makes a pushback and recaptures the city. However, Omani forces push in from the west. I know this looks like they've lost their entire country. Maybe they have, but the majority of the people live in this area anyway. There's the main population centers of Oman are right here. This little bit over here. Maybe a tiny bit there. And then this whole blue area, like this whole region. These are the population areas of Oman. Not this little circle though. Okay. Yep, so it's not going too well for Oman. Jalan Bani Bawali falls again, and they desperately try to push here. You may be thinking, well, How did they capture the rest of the country and do that so easily? If you don't know geography of this region, then you might not know. This whole area over here. Sorry for the wait. Including this region of Abu Dhabi in the UAE. I didn't get it wrong. This region is Abu Dhabi. This whole area is parts of the Rub al Khali, which is called the Empty Quarter. This area is very, very dry, and it's a massive desert. One of the biggest in the world, I think. Looks pretty big. So yeah. And then you come over here, including this region of the UAE, with Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, and a little bit of Al Quwain. This whole area is just a big fat mountain range. So yeah, it's quite difficult to invade. However, the Somalis notice and they send their naval forces up over here to the Strait of Hormuz. They capture Musandam, which is this 2 bits, and they land up north, and then from here, Oman collapses. Peace treaty. Do I need to say more? Full annexation. Oman is fully annexed by the new Somali Empire. They are huge. I like this empire very much. Now they just need to add their capital, because it's nothing. Nothing's done with that capital. Lovely. The brand new Somali Empire. Next on their list is, drumroll please, the nation of the UAE, Qatar, and Bahrain. This is a big one here. They're going to try and get some more oil, which will greatly boost their economy and help develop their military. So once again, I said this is flat desert, so, I mean, there are dunes, but Somali forces are able to take advantage of this terrain and push really close to Abu Dhabi. However, the UAE pushes back as they don't want to lose their capital, which is on this island here. The Battle of Al Ain is very fierce. Al Ain is a city right in this little point here. However, they do take advantage of this little bit of empty desert over here and start to push into Dubai from the back. Dubai stretches like along this whole bit, and then Sharjah, Ajman, Al Quwain, Ras Al Khaimah. Yep. So Somali forces push in and take over the mountain region, and there's a slow push on the urban regions as well. Have the UAE takes advantage of it. Somalia takes advantage of yet another empty gap, because there's nobody that really lives in between Dubai and Abu Dhabi. We have something like this, and then UAE gets split into multiple pieces. Al Ain is the first to surrender. Abu Dhabi gets slowly pushed, and the Battle of the Island begins. They now start to encroach in on Dubai, capturing Ajman and Sharjah. And yeah, they both surrender. Then the Somali Navy goes boom, boom, goodbye. Peace treaty. Full annexation. No more needs to be said. So, yeah, we're just doing that. Including these little bits here. Nice. If I expand it further north. The final country they're going to be attacking the Middle East, for now, at least, is Kuwait. And this goes extremely well, and we are going to fully annex them. Now, Somalia has kind of hit a roadblock. Or have they? I forgot about you. Sorry. They declare war on Sri Lanka. They land their forces in the north over here. And yeah, this is not good. I mean, most of the countries they've fought so far have actually been Muslim, so it might be easy to assimilate. But not with Sri Lanka. No. They have more people than are in actual Somalia. And they might even have as many people as is in this whole country. Maybe it's even. But yeah, it'll be quite hard to manage. Anyway, Sri Lanka, welcome to the Union. Nice. This is where they also take over the nation of Mauritius as an even better holiday spot. So yeah, cool. Now they've hit a roadblock. Any country that they can really attack isn't really that weak anymore. Iraq, I'm still imagining if they wanted to, they could be strong. Iran, well, no thank you. India, absolutely not. Even with my belt, it still get destroyed. Pakistan, same thing. You can't attack Afghanistan. Saudi Arabia, maybe. Ethiopia, no, that's not a good idea. Kenya, Tanzania, same thing. Madagascar, you can't attack France because that you would enact NATO, and that's not a good idea. Myanmar, yeah. Indonesia, no. Australia, no. Thailand, you don't really even have a way to get there. But yeah, this is what they're stuck with. And they have decided to go with the nation of Kenya and Madagascar. Okay, we're doing that. Somalia is going fully imperialist today. They land in the north, and from here, Madagascar tries to put up some defense, but it doesn't go too well. Somali forces do very well on the coastline, but once they get in the middle, it starts to turn into Vietnam, and it's not really a good place to fight. So the fighting slows down, and then Madagascar does a huge comeback, pushes the Somalis all the way back to the north, recapturing their major port, Tomasina, and leaving it like this. Nice. However, Somalia has more success in Kenya as they do border them. They try and push towards the south, and they do just that, cutting them off on the coast. Somali forces also make a joint encirclement to capture this northern region, because this whole area in here is like Somali, so this would be quite, maybe this might be even encouraged. Yep, you may have thought Kenya is stronger than it is, but in this scenario, we're not going to say that. And Kenya surrenders very quickly. Now they can say, okay, all right, they're gone. Peace treaty, full annexation. Somalia is going to have to stop fully annexing country, because otherwise they're not going to have any. It's going to be really hard to assimilate. Oh, yeah, very cool. I like that border a lot. Now, they finally come to this decision. They've got even harder countries left. So they're going to take out the next two weak countries, South Sudan and Uganda. They capture Uganda's coastline. Not really coastline, but their populated area. And Uganda just kind of disintegrates. A lot of new people here, which might be ready to fight for you. They capture Juba, and South Sudan absolutely disintegrates. Once again, for the final time, Somalia fully annexes them. Yeah, this is going to be a very weird looking country now. And I think it's come to it. Somalia declares war on Ethiopia. But Ethiopia had done a little something. They formed a coalition with the Congo, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania. And yeah, this was happened. They also invite Egypt and Sudan, which do accept the call. The reason why these guys is because Ethiopia finished it. Actually, no, I did that completely wrong. I'm so sorry, guys. Very bad knowledge. I got confused. Yep, anyway. Now, how is this going to go? I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. So, Somali forces begin to enter into Ethiopia. They have very, very big success in their predominantly Somali regions, which is all of this eastern area. They're able to capture all of it very quickly, even reaching over here. And then their advance slows down. They do make a few small advances in some other areas, but not too much more. Ethiopia, though, does have very much success in the north, capturing all of the part of Eritrea and the north of Djibouti. So we have something like this. We have the Tanzanian and Congan and Rwandan militaries, because I'd say Rwanda's pretty strong. I know they probably wouldn't work together, especially Rwanda and the Congo. Work together to push in and create a solid front line, which gains support of Ugandan rebels, which rapidly advance, as well as Kenyan rebels who are greatly supporting this as well. They make a move with Ethiopia, and they completely split Somalia in half. Somalia's like, oh no. They reach Juba, and the South Sudanese start to rebel, and from here, it doesn't look good. They lose their entire western portion, and probably a few 100,000 Somali soldiers. This is not good. Now Somalia starts to get absolutely pushed back. as the people inside are getting a bit sick of war and they just want to develop themselves and increase their quality of life, but that's not really happening. Government is just making their military better, really. They continue to push in and now even take in some core Somali territory. Tanzanians push in from the south as well. We have Madagascan rebels seizing arms and taking their whole country. They also supported with Mauritian. I don't really know how to say that. Mauritian, Seychellois, and Comorosian. I don't know. Comorian, yeah. Sri Lanka also declares independence. And yeah, we're all going to get spat out. From here, Somalia does manage to hold their front a bit better. The front straightens out a little bit around here in Kenya. And from here, Somalia holds their defense. However, they are losing a little bit of ground still in Ethiopia. But from here, the front mostly stabilizes. And that's not a good thing. We don't want that. So, Saudi Arabia joins the war. So does, Saudi Arabia. This is a big move because they thought they were allies. No, Saudi Arabia immediately captures Aden, and with Yemeni rebels, they managed to completely capture Yemen in a matter of weeks. They now start to push into Oman, and this has got very much support. They cut off the UAE from the rest of Somalia. The rebels take over the territory. So the Saudi forces as well. They push into Muscat and Oman. The Somalia Republic of Oman surrenders as well. Now Somalia is just left on its own. And yeah, that's not good. Now with all the countries fighting against them, they start to get completely bombarded. Tanzanian forces push up the coast to reach Mogadishu. Saudi naval forces make a landing over here on the other side to reach Mogadishu. Ethiopian forces break the Somali front and effectively kick them out of the country. They also push in towards Mogadishu. And now they circle the city and the surrounding urban area. Ethiopia and Saudi Arabia capture the north of the country, and from here it's almost done. However, Somalis do one last counterattack, which goes very surprisingly well. They relink with themselves. It's their last final reserves that were waiting to defend their country. They pushed up the coast. And yeah, they even pushed back up here into Somaliland. And yeah, Somalia looks like they're almost back. Until the reserves run out of energy. And yeah, the bombing increase. The front lines and the amount of troops from all these countries increase. Because the Congo can spare a lot. All of them have a lot of troops. And Somalia doesn't really have any. The people are starving and they start to rebel against the country. And from here, you're not really going to win. It's kind of what happened to the Germans in World War II. And yeah, well, we know it's bad because the brush number's increasing. And yeah, it gets absolutely wiped off the map. They do not capture Mogadishu yet. Mogadishu is captured encircled on its own. The north once again gets decimated. And now it's the final Somali resistance groups, but then they get cooked. So yeah, let's have a look at a peace treaty. Yep. So, for the first time, Somalia is actually going to get split up. Normally, I just return them back to their normal borders. But no, the surrounding countries will not forget what they did. So, we have Kenya down here, annexing this whole southern region. Like here. We have Ethiopia annexing the most out of this. Yemen takes the region of Puntland. The other countries just receive free trade and whatever. And then Somalia gets It's left in its hole. However, Somaliland is annexed into the Republic of Ethiopia. And yeah, this is New Somalia. This little chunk here. They're probably really unstable and eventually will end up. They're probably a protectorate, a joint protectorate administered by Kenya, Ethiopia, and Somalia, and Saudi. And then they might even just get annexed. So yeah, if you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe. Goodbye. Thank you.